So your engineering team discovered OpenClaw and Hermes, and within a week, half of your developers are already running AI agents on their laptops with shell access, plaintext API keys, and zero audit trails. Nobody approved it, nobody's tracking what those agents are actually doing, and if your security team finds out, their first instinct will be to actually ban everything. And here's the thing, that won't work. By the end of this video, you'll understand why ungoverned AI agents are a fundamentally different security problem than the tools you've dealt with before, what makes banning them a losing strategy, and the one architectural pattern that actually solves this without killing your team's productivity. But the first thing we need to talk about is what ungoverned actually means in practice. When your developer installs OpenClaw or Hermes, what are they really actually giving them? Well, typically they offer them shell access, so full execution on their machine. Often they have plaintext API keys that are sitting in a .env file that the agent reads at startup. Sometimes they give it direct access to your cloud provider through whatever credentials the developer already has. And here's the part that should keep you up at night. There is no centralized record of what the agent did, what commands it ran, or what data it touched. If something goes wrong, you have no log to check. Now I know what you're thinking. Isn't this just the same shadow AI problem we've had for more than 20 years? And that's a fair question, but the difference matters here. With Shadow IT, a developer spins up an unapproved SaaS tool, for example, and your risk is mostly about data exfiltration. With an AI agent, the tool isn't just accessing data, it's taking action. It's running commands, it's modifying infrastructure. The blast radius is orders of magnitude larger, and the speed is actually instant. A human typing commands will make mistakes at human speed, while an agent makes them at machine speed. When security teams actually discover this, the default response is predictable. Ban the frameworks, block the binaries, send a memo. And here's why the strategy is already failing. The moment you actually block OpenClaw, developers migrate to a fork, or a new framework that does the same thing under a different name. Your developers aren't using these agents because they're reckless, they are using them because they're more productive with them. The agent solves real problems, so banning them doesn't actually eliminate the demand, it just drives the behavior underground, which is actually worse for security because now you've lost visibility entirely. The pattern that's actually emerging across enterprises that are ahead of the curve is something called governed infrastructure. Instead of telling developers what they cannot run, you give them a place where they can actually run agents safely, and you make that place easier than running agents on their laptop. So governed infrastructure has three non-negotiable properties. So first, isolated execution. Every agent action runs inside a sandbox with explicitly scoped permissions. The agent doesn't inherit the developer's credentials. It gets exactly the access it needs for exactly what it's been asked to do and nothing else. So secondly, a complete audit trail. Every command the agent runs, every API call it makes, every resource it touches, it's all recorded and searchable. If something breaks, you know exactly what happened and who initiated it. Third, human-in-the-loop controls. Before the agent can actually perform a destructive action, delete a resource, modify a production config, or push to main, it must request approval from a human operator. And this shouldn't be a checkbox, it shouldn't be a confirmation dialog, it should be an actual approval step that's baked into the workflow. So let me make this concrete. Imagine your developer wants an agent to help debug a production incident. In the ungoverned model, they actually paste their production credentials into the agent's config file and then they hope for the best. In the governed model, the agent connects through a platform that provisions a temporary read-only session that's scoped only to the relevant namespaces. If we're talking about Kubernetes, the agent can inspect pods, pull logs, check metrics, but it cannot actually modify resources. If its analysis suggests a restart or a rollback, that action goes into an approval queue, the developer reviews it, confirms it, and only then does the change execute. The entire session is logged, the credentials are never exposed to the agent directly, and when the session ends, access is revoked automatically. So this is not theoretical, platforms built on this exact model are already in production, and one example is Lens Agents. Lens Agents was purpose-built for governed AI agent infrastructure. The key insight is the same whether you're using Hermes, OpenClaw, or whatever ships next month. You don't govern the agent, you govern the infrastructure it runs on. So Lens Agents gives your platform team a single pane of glass. They can see every agent, what it's connected to, and can stop any of them at any given time. The kill switch exists from day one. The sandbox, the permissions, the audit log, those are platform level concerns that don't depend on which agent framework your developers prefer. So why does this matter for you specifically? Well, your developers are already experimenting with AI agents, or they will be within the next 6 months. You have a narrow window to get ahead of this, to build the governed path before the ungoverned one becomes entrenched. And once developers are used to running agents with full shell access on their laptops, adding controls later is 10 times harder than providing a safe path from day one. So let's recap. Ungoverned AI agents are a different category of risk. They don't just access data, they take action at API speed. Banning frameworks doesn't work because developers migrate to new ones and you lose visibility in the process. And the solution is actually governed infrastructure with at least these 3 pillars, so isolated execution, complete audit trails, and human-in-the-loop approval, and that's exactly how Lens Agents helps. So if you found this useful, hit that like button, subscribe if you want more content at the intersection of DevOps and AI security, and let me know in the comments, are your developers already using AI agents, or is this still on the horizon for your team? I'd love to know where you are on this particular curve. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.